Hey guys, so this is Jake 2 with this video for me. First time I'd left you guys in a wind tunnel, so we're gonna try it again. Hopefully I'm as thorough as I was. So I wanted to go over add-ons and resources that I've been using, and it's been, a learning curve, coming through, and now I'm at the end of Wars of Draenor, we're heading into Legion, and I want to be able to provide everyone with what I've got so they can play efficiently. So, with that said, here we go. Let's go right to my add-on screen and take a look at that. No, better yet, let's go into System. When I'm running Battlegrounds, I run everything low, as low as I can possibly go, bilinear. I want to keep my view distance up because you want to be able to see, but I only keep it at good. I don't go any higher than good. I feel like good can get you all the way across the map without affecting frame rates and stuff. The only other function that I leave up is outline mode. I find that the outline mode is great for finding treasures and stuff and quest items. So I feel that that's a viable item. If you're flying overhead, you can see things with the outline mode. It's a great helper. With that said, I also go into advanced, and I do not use the same settings as my desktop. I tend to want to bring the gamma up a little bit. I find that I don't know if it's based on my video card or Blizzard settings. The game's dark, so I want to keep everything at a brighter rate. Visibility is huge. So then, with that said, we're all set there. When you go into add-ons, you'll see that I run NPC scan, but I have it off right now. It's a resource whore, so I keep it off until I need it. There's also an archaeology assistant add-on. I find that that's incredible. It creates like a 1" by 2" window that you can position on your screen. I tend to keep it below my quest objectives right here between my DPS meter. It just gives me buttons to add sockets and to solve my archaeology stuff and to know my current quantities of fragments based on the expansion I'm in, so that I don't have to go crazy, running through my archaeology books and pulling up my professions log and doing all that, because it's ridiculous. Then there's Atlas Loot. I feel Atlas Loot is a great one to have in your computer, but once again, not on all the time, because it's another one. It's a resource whore. Atlas Loot will allow you to see recipes, items that are not necessarily in dungeons and such, just really all over the game. So it's just a greater pool than I feel that the Dungeon Journal is offering us currently. Okay, and then there's the Bagnon add-on, which Bag Brother is tied in automatically with. So when you go ahead and get Bagnon, you will get the Bag Brother add-on as well. Bag Brother is storing quantities and stuff, and Bagnon allows for an all-in-one config. You can get this for void storage, for the guild bank, for everything, and it just makes everything a lot cleaner. When you left click on it, you can actually pull up all the characters that have been stored based on your logins, and if you right click on the bottom, you can pull up all your banks, and then you can right click on that and view all the banks for all your characters. So you come to an item like Aviana's Feather, because I know you guys are going to be proud of me for that one. Look, I got 8 Aviana's Feathers, which is going to become a toy, so I only should have had 1. And that's a complete waste of time. But, that's how we roll. But as you can see, I can see all the different characters that I have it on. Bartender 4. So Bartender is these add-on bars. Once I set the add-on bars up on one character, and you go into Bagnon, where are we? Apologies. Just close that out really quick. Okay, so when you go in, you can go to presets, profiles, apologies, and you can copy from profiles. So my existing profile is Larkin and Manaroth. When you come in, the default, it's all blank, and if I was to be on my second character, let's say I set up one tune, then I would come down here and I would copy from that tune, and it will convert everything based on Blizzard's bars, which once you set up one, you're good to go on all the other characters. I found that it's slick. You can page a tremendous amount of stuff. As you can see, you can hide all your Ashran stuff back here. You can hide all your fishing stuff back here. You can hide macros. You can hide gear sets if you don't want to have to page into your equipment manager. Because I found that for storing gear right now, equipment manager is good. I'm using another add-on to hover over and to see my gear, and being able to swap quicker, because going into equipment manager and have to bring up the arrow and then click on the arrow to find your gear, and then you're hovering on. I found that to be too much, so I wanted one that I could just hover, click, hover, click, hover. Believe it or not, that's an add-on that's dead, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So we've gone over, we're up to, well, let's talk about Sexy Map. I gotta go out of order a little bit. I apologize, but Sexy Map is the reason I got basic buffs. So Sexy Map, I wanted a larger mini map. I kind of have some visibility issues. I'm pretty blind. So as you can see, I have larger text and chat. I have my nameplates on so I can click easily and see people's help. And I needed a larger map. Sexy Map gave it to me. If you can see, I still have all these great buttons. When I come off of it, my buttons disappear. I can still have my location and my clock, which is all scalable. It's all interchangeable. You can even make it so that if you want to back off your map, it could disappear if that's really what you wanted to do. But then by making it bigger, it was on top of my buffs. So I found the add-on Basic Buffs, which literally is a green box, probably about 3 inches by 3 inches on my screen, that allowed me to just bump over the buffs. I found that having the buffs here as opposed to underneath my health bar, as some add-ons offer, is just easier to track for me, and that's where I want it. So that's how we're running it. I'll run buffs underneath my targets, but as far as myself, I want to keep it clean here, because with different characters, you're pulling up pets, and then your pet bar is there, and then it's on top of your buffs, and then you got party players, and you got raid profiles, and it was just too much over there in that corner. So I wanted to bring the buffs back over to where Blizzard put them. Battleground targets. So battleground targets is great for PvP. It will give you a list once you load in of all the characters on the other team. And then you can set it to show class icons, health bars by percentages, health bar by health points. You can track mana, you can track everything, you can track if you're in range. So I found it is completely viable. If we were going to just talk about what I'm using for PvP really quick, it's battleground targets, healers have to die, retab binder, which might be one that you've not heard of in SCADA. That's really all I need. Well, and I need my unit frames to be set up properly. Just to stop, I will go ahead and list all of these and links to them in the video description, just to make it a little more organized. I apologize for jumping around, but I want to be able to show you where my thought process is at and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So healers have to die. Great add-on. It allows you to put a symbol above the healer's head. So you set a threshold. Let's say, alright, well, I know you're a healer if you heal over 500,000. So you set your threshold to 500,000. The minute someone heals over 500,000, it puts a cross, a medic icon on top of the healer's head, and you can target that healer and go to it. It allows, for identifying healers. So we got battleground target chatter. I'm sorry if you hear my son. So Chatter's a great add-on. It allowed me to go past 18 for my font. I needed a 22 font because I'm blind. 18 just wasn't enough. It didn't just feel comfortable for me. 22 felt comfortable. It allows you to change colors. Let's say you want to pull something from chat. There's a little button in the corner that you can enable. So as I close add-ons, you can see that that's everything that I have right now currently in my chat window. You just hover over Control C and Control V for copy and pasting, and you can bring that stuff out to the web now. I know it's been a pain for a lot of players. I feel that chatter is like the greatest way to get that done. So fishing buddy. So when you're fishing, you're drinking lagers and you're adding hat buffs and you're adding fishing pole buffs and you're trying to throw on a raft so you can swim around and do all this stuff. There's just so much to it. So fishing buddy slimmed it all down into a nice easy macro so you can stay on top of your stuff. It'll track speed, how fast you're fishing, percentages of what you're getting. It's a great add-on. Let's see, we reviewed healers have to die. Item rack. So item rack is the dead add-on that I was referring to. So I have add-on disabled as far as options. I don't use item rack as my equipment manager. I use Blizzard's equipment manager, and then I have a button set up on my secondary bars for pulling that up. In War of the Drainer, I had a PvP set. I had a versatility set, and then I had a GPS set, and then I had a PvE set, and then I had a speed set for running around fast, and then I had my fishing set. So those are my 5 sets, which is a little ridiculous. But as you come over here, you can hover over exactly what you want. You can compare. You get all the stats, so you're not sitting there running back to your bag to compare stats. Everything's right there for you. It's quick and easy swaps. Still completely viable. You will have to load it as an out-of-date add-on, but it's not running errors. So it's a great add-on. Paste. So we'll combine Paste with TomTom and talk about them both at the same time. So I go to Wellhead for all my information. I feel that Wellhead's great. And with that said, people have had a lot of disconnect issues going to Wellhead. I can tell you right now, if you think you're going to run your character on auto run to Tanan in the background while you go search on Wellhead, Blizzard's going to disconnect you. That's what's happening there. The other thing that's disconnecting you is that I found that using Microsoft Edge through Windows 10 and going into the Wellhead site, the scripts that are running on the advertisements are way too high. And that's also disconnecting you from Wellhead. So what I did was I went into, I right-clicked on all the ads on Wellhead. Well, first off, for Wellhead, I diverted back to Internet Explorer. And I'm sure you could go to Google Chrome or Foxfire or any of them. But I use it just for a couple things. So I have 2 internet search engines on my taskbar, and I run Wellhead off of that, and I can run Wellhead in the background and I never get disconnected. So what I did was I went into properties when I right clicked on the ads, and I found the web addresses for these ads, and I went into sites, and I blocked them all. So now every add-on that could possibly, every advertisement that comes into Wellhead is gone. I don't see any of it. My sides are completely gray, and I can jump from page to page in Wellhead instantaneously. I'm not supporting their advertising. I'm sorry, I can't. Not with the scripts you guys are running. If they were dumbed down and I wasn't getting disconnected from the internet, then I would leave your ads up. But until it gets resolved, I can't leave your ads up. So TomTom and Paste. You go to Wellhead and you're doing an achievement, and the achievement sends you to 17 different locations to search for a rare elite. Paste will allow you to add all those waypoints at one time. Being attacked, I apologize. But as opposed to having to go into your chat log and manually enter a waypoint one by one, I found that it's incredible. So Paste and TomTom allows you to get it all done. Postal. So Postal will remember the last person you mailed to. So let's say you send all your stuff to an alt for mail, and then you want to get it back and stuff. If you're always mailing to the same person, Postal will have the last person you mailed to stored right in the search box in your mail. Postal's incredible like that. Pre-made group finder. So you've been trying to kill that one boss for 2 months. You can never find a group. So pre-made group finder will scan. You're looking for group based on what category you choose. Like if you choose dungeons, raids, custom. A lot of people will just default to custom because you can get the most choices out of custom. But so for instance, you're trying to get a Kazakh kill. You type Kazakh into the search engine. You try to thumb it down to use as little of a search word keyword as possible. So I use like KAZ. So I type KAZ in, and you could do a list. You could do a list of 15 things. I can search for Kazakh invasions. Let's say I want to do a Throne of Thunder achievement run. You put in these keywords and it'll scan for that stuff. And the minute that it pops, you'll get into these groups. It's an incredible add-on. Rematch. Rematch is the pet battle add-on, which is just phenomenal. I have it up, so I'll show you guys exactly what it is. If you want to search for what is the strongest type versus humans, it'll give you all the ones that have strong human abilities. If you want to know what's the toughest versus humans, you'll find out that beast, and they give you the symbols and everything. It's nice and easy. You can save pets for specific teams, and you can save it based on the target. So let's say I've got this guy target and I just want to save this team that I have loaded up to that target. I hit save, it's done. Ice of Calf can be killed by my Emerald Prototype. I mean, it's amazing. It really is amazing add-on. I've had a situation where I've gotten corrupted and I've lost all my teams, and I felt like I wanted to cry because after you save all these teams, I recommend to you, take screenshots of as much stuff as you possibly can. It'll really help you. You want to save pictures of your add-ons, your action bars. You want to save pictures of your talents. All of that will help you because you're bound to get corrupted at some point in time, and you're going to need to reload your add-ons, and you're going to want to not lose the hours that you've invested in research and development on what teams, what pet battle teams, and such. Once you start to have a better understanding of the add-on, you'll find that saving these teams is not necessarily such a big deal. But if you go into the Timeless tournament, the Pet Battle Celestial tournament, you'll be crying if you don't have that information the first couple times. So Rematch is an amazing add-on. After Rematch, I run Retail Binder. So Retail Binder, you're in the battlegrounds, and I still use tab to target, and just not all the time. Like if I was looking at this group and there was a healer, I would lean up and I would click the healer. But if there's 3 DPS there and I don't give a shit who I kill, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tab target. But say there's a hunter there and he's just dropped like 40 pets into the situation. Retail Binder will allow you to ignore all totems and all pets and NPCs and stuff like that. If you just want to target a real player, Retail Binder will allow you to target a real player of viability, so you can save that extra second while you're leaning up to try to click a button, and instead of leaning up to click a button, you can be looking down at your bars to see what's off cooldown. It makes things just that much faster. Saved instances is incredible. I've only logged on to Larkin this week because I'm in the beta and I'm trying out new stuff. But if I was to I have 9 characters on the account, it would load up all 9 characters, show me all my currency, show me all the dungeons I've been in. It tracks specialty quests. So if you've done your invasions, let's say you came in on a Tuesday and you ran 4 invasions, but you don't remember what characters they were. This add-on will track all of that, so you can just log in, you'll know exactly where you left off. Once again, time saved. I hate sitting in a major city and doing nothing. So Scrap is incredible. Scrap is an add-on. You see, I got nothing in my packs to scrap right now. But Scrap will go ahead and put a little gold coin in the corner. I see that in Legion, Blizzard is also doing this now. So Scrap might have been such a success that it was just implemented into a real deal Blizzard thing. But Scrap is completely viable. It'll track what you're throwing out. It'll let you know, do you want to continue to throw that item out every time. Grays, it'll auto throw out. It's just a very clean, very thorough add-on. Um, we've discussed Sexy Map, and as far as gathering and being able to see more, because I didn't want to get gathering, get the big HUD right in the HUD right in the middle of my screen. Who wants that? I mean, that's just ridiculous. So I got a bigger mini map, and I can track a tremendous amount of dots just off of that. So Shadowed Uniframes is my new X-Pearl. X-Pearl kind of died with errors as far as I was concerned. Shadowed Uniframes gave me everything that I wanted, nice and clean, and it doesn't pull too much resources. I really feel that it pulled even less than X-Pearl ever did. SCADA is my alternative to Recount. I don't use Recount. I haven't in about 7 years, just because it's a resource whore. SCADA is clean. You can track a tremendous amount of stuff in here. Debuffs, CC breakers, DPS damage, damage taken by spell, enemy damage, dispels, healing, overhealing, mana gains, interrupts. It's great. And as you can see, it's nice and clean. If you look at my memory, I'm only running 17.72. That's really all I want to be running. I have a 10 gig memory system I'm running off of, but I don't want to get phased out in Shran. I don't want to run into a situation where all of a sudden I find that Blizzard decided to spawn like 50 attackers on me that are like of 1 health, and all of a sudden I'm lagged out. I don't want that. I never lag out. And then Weak Aura is this last one you see down here. I haven't touched on it yet. I've been researching it. I want to provide a video further down the line when I'm a little more prepared to. But as of right now, I'll have a list of all of these add-ons that I'm using, along with links to curse.com, because I find that that's a fantastic site for pulling add-ons. So I will provide that to you. I hope you like what you're seeing. I hope you think that this is as clean as I think it is. It really offers great things, as far as cooldowns on my bar. You see I got timers running. Everything's really clean. It really is. Try it out. And I wish you the best. Please subscribe. Thanks. Bye.